Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of Raw Out of 10. It's a big show today because obviously we've just had Survivor Series, so we've got all of the fallout from that and everything that went down. The Bloodline winning, Becky Lynch's team winning the War Games match. So yeah, there was a lot that went on in that show for affecting the Raw brand, so let's get straight into the show. And Becky Lynch kicked off Raw and said she was back and ready to slap heads off anyone who stood in the way. Bayley was out next and said that she even puts herself at risk for fans. She gets no appreciation from the fans. Becky was still in the middle of the crowd and called Bayley a loser before Io Sky and Dakota Kai showed up and the trio charged her. Becky managed to defend herself with whatever she could find and managed to take down Damage Control before officials came to break it up. Yeah, they just beat them down basically, and Damage Control clearly coming out on top. So yeah, Becky clearly wasn't ready to stand in everything that faced her. But yeah, poor old Becky. Yeah, but this is a good start to Raw. Definitely sets up a new feud. Becky v Bayley, potentially going into Raw Rumble. Now Bianca feud kind of run its course. Yeah, it makes sense. So this is a good start to Raw. But anyway, it's time for Rhea Ripley versus Mitchin next. Mitchin had the early advantage and locked in the transfer in the corner before Rhea sending Ripley outside. Dominic ran the distraction early and allowed Rhea to get back in control. Rhea then sent Mitchin into the ring post and locked in a hole before Mitchin hit dropkick from the tilt rope DDT. Dominic tried to interfere once more and Mitchin dragged him inside the ring before Rhea attacked her from behind. AJ Styles rushed the ring and attacked Dom and the rest of Judgment Day, and the OC then followed them out and the match was called off due to interruptions. And yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I don't know, kind of like seeing this go to a clean finish, but at the same time it's kind of hard to pick a loser from this with both of you coming back from returning or injury. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting one, but yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 from me because obviously now it leads into the Judgment Day versus OC. Balor and Styles kicked off the match and the latter got a big body slam early before tagging Carl Anderson, who sent Finn into the ring post. Gallows then came in with a suplex as the OC isolated Balor before he finally managed to tag in Priest. The Judgment Day were in control after a break on Raw and isolated Anderson and Dominic got a near fall off the free Amigos. The match went outside and Gallows sent Priest into the unsuccessful with a spine buster. Back in the ring, Mitchin and Rhea tagged in and the latter was sent into the corner for Mia Yim hit a cannonball. Gallows and Anderson were about to hit the magic killer on Priest before Dominic came in. AJ hit Priest with a forearm, but with a body slam, Rhea hit her riptide and got the pin. So yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me. Judgment Day eventually getting the win, Rhea eventually getting the win. Kind of just felt like a longer format. And yeah, kind of suggests maybe this feud isn't done yet, which I kind of thought it might be. But yeah, gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Because from what it didn't make sense, but yeah, I'm not sure how much longer this feud's going to go on, so I thought maybe they'd go on to something different now. The Street Profits were back in Raw and ran into Alpha Academy backstage, setting up a match later. Bloodline was out next, and after Sami Zayn talked about them finally being on the same page, the team shared a group hug. Kevin Owens interrupted the celebration and said that he understood why Sami turned them since he had himself done the same many times in his career. KO said that he wanted nothing to do with Sami, and Zayn agreed, saying that he didn't need anyone because he has family now. Owens said that he was glad that Sami was getting recognition, but reminded him that he would never be actually related to the Bloodline. Jey Uso fired back and said he was going to defend Sami before he and KO booked a match later tonight. And yeah, this is just a perfect promo. We know where it's going, but yeah, setting that all laying the table for it all. Yeah, great stuff. The Usos then ran into Riddle and Elias and agreeing on the tag team title match in the near future, which is going to be next week. Before it's time for the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy, Gable and Ford kicked off the match, and Dawkins was tagged in early on before getting a drop kick for a near fall. Ford came back in with a clothesline before Dawkins sent Gable a notice outside and Montez hit a big dive. Back after a break, Otis was knocked off the apron before hitting a silencer on Gable. Otis then came back in and helped Gable to hit a big German suplex on Dawkins before Montez hit a body slam on Otis. Dawkins then replied with a big slam before Ford got the frog splash on Gable for the W. And yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me. Good win for the Street Profits. Yeah, good to see them back because we missed them with how long they've been gone for. Alpha Academy, kind of perfect opponents to put them over. That's kind of seems their role. But yeah, good return for the Street Profits. The US Champ Theory was then out next and called the universe stupid for not believing him. He bragged about beating Lashley and Rollins before declaring that this was the Austin Theory era. Rollins came out and told him to shut up before trying to taunt him into a fight. Theory said that he'd fight him, but his own time before walking out, but then stood on the ramp and stared Rollins down from a distance while showing off his title. So yeah, kind of classic heel champion there, retreating. But yeah, it seems like we're going to get a Theory Rollins rematch. Interesting to see how they'll get out of that, because I imagine Theory will retain. Thought maybe Rollins would go on to some bigger things like Lashley will you presume. But yeah, I mean, good to have a rematch. That'll be a good match. And we'll have to see where it goes, I suppose. So yeah, this was solid enough promo. The Miz was backstage with a bag of money and said that he had injured his hand once more. Alan Pearce was convinced that he was faking his injury and told the Miz he had to face Loomis tonight, and that's what we got in an Anything Goes match. Loomis took the Miz down early on and loaded on him on the mat before smacking his head on the lead board, on the apron, over and over. Miz was sent into the barricades and the announcer says before tossing him off it. Miz was then tossing whatever he could find at Loomis, but he barely slowed him down before Dexter Loomis set out the A-list on the table and hit an elbow drop, sending him through it. Back in the ring, Miz ripped the covers off the turnbuckles before sending Loomis into it, but managed to kick out. Loomis then got a headlock and the Miz tapped out before Dexter walked away and signed the WWE contract and took a big bag of money from Pierce. Loomis was giving the money away to the crowd before the Miz came back and attacked him, taking the money away. Gargano came out and hit the Miz with a super kick before returning the money to Loomis. This was really good. Gargano stuff is still a bit weird, I find, but for what this was, it was really good. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Dexter Loomis in WWE, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm kind of intrigued to see what he does. It was then time for Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. Kai got a massive boot to the face early before missing a knee strike in the corner and hurting her knee. On the apron, LeRae hit a flatliner before hitting him back for a mid-level drop kick. Back after a break, LeRae got a suplex for a near fall before they traded kicks. Kai then got a scorpion kick for a near fall before LeRae got a net breaker off the ropes, getting the W. Probably gets a 6 out of 10 from me this one. Candice LeRae getting the win, slightly surprised by it. I thought Kai would get the win for Damage Control, but I think it makes sense. Good win for Candice LeRae, builds her up a bit, I would say. So yeah, not bad stuff. And Joe, of course, with these two, it's always going to be a great match. Bianca, Oscar and Alexa were then backstage and said they were happy to put their rivalry Damage Control behind them. Bliss looked preoccupied as Raw continued. So yeah, it looks like they're moving on to something new, unsurprisingly. Before it's time for Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso on Raw. Jey fed the ring early and KO sent him into the barricades before Solo stared Owens down at the ringside. Back in the ring, Jey hit a big boot, sending Owens back outside. Owens got a swanton bomb, but Jey got his knees up. KO then got a cannonball in the ring before Uso hit him with a hip attack in the corner. The two traded fists before Jey unloaded on KO in the corner. Owens then came out with a takedown and went out to the ropes before hitting a massive fisherman suplex. Owens then got a splash for a near fall before taking a super kick and missed the stunner and took another suplex. And then a third before managing to kick out. Jimmy Uso interfered and got on the apron before Owens got a stunner in the ring for the W. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me this one. Obviously everything, Owens, the bloodline, whatever's happening with them lot at the moment is really, really, really great. I love this. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Obviously we all know where it's going, but Owens going to win. Sami Zayn, could he be, brought into this? Obviously he will be, but how soon it's going to be? So many questions, but yeah, it's just brilliant. So yeah, great stuff. Overall, Raw this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me, I'll say. I thought it was a solid episode of Raw this week. There were some really, really good bits on there. Some bits that maybe I wasn't quite as much of a fan of. But on the whole, I would say it was a really solid episode of Raw. Obviously, the Bloodline storyline's great. That's kind of carrying the whole show at the moment. But then I also other bits in this show were really good. Dexter Loomis, kind of intrigued to see what he does. So yeah, good episode. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and thoughts, comments down below. Follow for daily wrestling news and subscribe to my channel. Screaming them, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.